Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for joining and watching this video. Today's topic is the 6 human hungers. Now, this concept was derived by the founder of WILDFIT, Eric Edmeades, to address the psychology around what is driving our decisions to eat. And he's broken it down into 6 categories that he calls the 6 human hungers. Now, they're not all created equal, but I wanted to address these with you today. So let's find out how. So I'm sorry, I'm Coach Angel from Angel's Bedrock Coaching Services. And I have become a coach because I'm truly passionate about helping people break free from that diet mindset and negative talking themselves, thinking they have to be perfect. I want to create food freedom for everybody so that they can make decisions on their own and not be living in the matrix and the norms and the societal pressures of somebody else telling you how to live. So let's get into it. Number 1, what do we think the first human hunger is? It's nutrition, and it is the only true hunger that we have. When our body is deficient or depleted or needs a specific nutrient, it's going to ping us to be hungry, that hungry feeling, and we're going to want to satiate it. Unfortunately, our body doesn't have a clear communication system. It doesn't have a signal going, I want broccoli, and then you go and eat broccoli. I want an apple, and then you go and eat an apple. It's just the same feeling, regardless of what the need is. And we're, as a society, have a tendency of feeding it non-functional foods because we're just going to grab food. We're hungry, we want food. We're hungry, we want food, and we're grabbing these non-functional items to satiate. So this is where I believe, as a country, as a world, we're becoming overfed and undernourished. We're very malnourished as a species because we are satisfying our nutritional hunger with non-functional foods. So we're really constantly hungry, not only because of what's in the non-functional foods, but also because our body wants those nutrients that it's dying to get. It wants it, and we're not feeding it. So that is hunger number 1, the only true hunger, mind you. There's 6 of them. So what is number 2? Number 2 is thirst. And you may be thinking thirst isn't a hunger, but if you stop yourself and think about our ancestors, they weren't walking around with water bottles. They weren't sitting around powwowing around a fresh water source with the other animals that are drinking out of that water source, because guess what? There's prey animals sneaking around, fear of eating. So we have evolved to eat plants that are very high in water. That's how we get our hydration. So understanding that is sometimes it's triggering us to eat because we're thirsty, because that's how it used to be. When you would drink and you would eat plants to get your hydration. You would eat to get that hydration. So by trying to quiet that in our current living situation in the modern world, we can start drinking 6 to 8 glasses of water a day, and then we can slowly satiate that thirst hunger, which is just that feeling for hydration. We can quiet that down. I always recommend, if you're feeling hungry, if you drink a glass of water and then wait 10 to 15 minutes, you may not be hungry. And then you can kind of make sure that it's not the thirst hunger, the one driving that decision. So hunger number 3 is variety hunger. This is something that our bodies have developed because we need to get in a variety. It was a protection mechanism. If we only ate one plant life form, and that's what we've evolved to eat, and that's all we were going to eat, and there was like a great freeze, guess what? Our species would be eliminated because we didn't have anything else to eat. That's the only thing we ate. But because we are evolved to eat multiple thousands of plant species as well as animal products, we have evolved to survive. However, in our current society, again, we have a tendency of eating the same things over and over again. This is what we like, this is what we like, this is what we like, this is what we like. And when we have a craving, because yes, we're going to get cravings, it may be that it's for variety. So you may not necessarily be hungry, you're just wanting something different. I mean, have you ever eaten something, been full, but then you're like, that's really not what I wanted. I still have a taste for something. What is it? And again, that's your body signaling you it's looking for some variety. The next one on the list is low blood sugar. Low blood sugar, this one hits home with our crisis that we have with obesity and with diabetes. This one is key. Our bodies are being fed sugar day in and day out with our normal human diet. If we're eating within the food pyramid, eating grains, eating fruits on a daily basis, trying to meet our daily standards that we're supposed to have, is creating us to be insulin resistance. And because we're insulin resistant, we're not being able to function properly. So think of it as when you eat anything that's of sugar, your insulin is going to spike because it's processing it. That hormone is going to get released. When it's done digesting, it's still higher and it's going to be craving more. It's going to be like, oh, feed me, right? So how we're feeding that and how we're treating that is that, oh, we have to feed it. Oh, we have to feed it. Oh, we have to feed it. And we don't have to feed that. It is meant for us to get in good quality, right? Not just the junk sugars, the non-functional foods, but to get in some good quality fruits with high fiber and some root vegetables. That is truly what we need, but it's meant to be seasonally, because in nature that would not have been available to us every single day. We should be moving in times of eating sugar and times of not eating so much sugar, and allowing that insulin to take a break and lower. So that is really what low blood sugar hunger is it truly a hunger that you need something, or is it just that because your insulin is still spiked from what you ate last time? Or is it, you know what I mean? So we have to really kind of slow down and think about what is driving that decision to eat and understanding that. And then next topic is our emotional hunger. This is another one that is huge, also feeding into the diabetes and the obesity crisis. Emotions are critical. We've grown up and learned, thanks to industry marketing, that we need certain foods to create certain feelings. We need to have certain foods to, when we're in a certain state, to then get out of that state. So for an example, I mean, when you're depressed, oh, I want some ice cream. Ice cream is going to make me feel better. Or, I'm broke up with my boyfriend. I need some chocolate. All of these are emotional eatings. I mean, even look at the commercial. Okay, the commercial for Snickers, let's say, it's the afternoon. You're grouchy, Stan. Well, you need to have a Snickers. And then he has a Snickers and boom, he changes into himself again after eating the Snickers. Oh, thanks, you guys. Seriously, do we think that Snickers is that impactful on us to change our personalities? Or is it actually what's causing some of that? That industry marketing and that is keeping us in the matrix and keeping us eating the way they want us to eat is part of what's fueling me to become a coach and helping people out of that matrix, just to become aware of it. So there's a lot behind the emotional eating, and there are so many things that we can do once we break and we understand that, oh, this is an emotional habit, and what I want to get, what am I trying to achieve with that feeling? We can create a plan for ourselves of what can I do to achieve that isn't related to some of these foods that were, my trigger foods. Maybe it's go for a walk. Maybe I just need a hug or some personal connection, either physical with a hug or maybe it's just a phone call to a friend or a family member. So understanding that we can satisfy some of these emotional needs outside of eating is part of what can help us create that food freedom for ourselves. Now, the last one on the list is empty stomach hunger. Empty stomach hunger is not a hunger. Again, the only true hunger is nutritional. All these other ones are just feelings that are creating some of our decisions. We have grown up in a society, in the matrix, in this little bubble that is telling us that we need to keep our stomachs full. You're feeling that growl, you need to eat. It's telling you, your body's signaling you to eat. Who's telling us that? It's the industries. Our bodies are meant to be in times of feast or famine. So when we feast, our stomach is elastic. It's going to grow and we can eat big meals. I mean, how many of us eat a huge Thanksgiving meal and we're like, we don't normally eat like that, but yet we can. And then later you're feeling hungry later because as that's digesting, now your stomach is stretched. It's like, okay, yeah, there's room now. There's room now. That's all it is there's room now. It doesn't mean you need to eat. So even when your stomach is empty, like in the mornings when you wake up and your stomach is empty, you do not need to eat. It's not a true hunger. It's just a feeling that our body has. Now, it is a survival technique that has been evolved down from us because, again, ancestrally, when they woke up or their stomach, they got that feeling of hunger. For them, it was, okay, let's start looking around. We need to find food. So they'll go out, they get activity and they start foraging, whether they find plants or whether they find animal to kill. Maybe they weren't successful on any of that. Again, feast or famine. It's okay not to have any food in your stomach. It's just a feeling. So I break this down for you again. There are 6 human hungers, and they start with number 1, which is the true nutritional hunger. That's true. It's the only true hunger there is. Then there's thirst hunger. Get in your 6 to 8 glasses a day, maybe drink some water before a meal and wait 10 minutes. Number 3 is your variety hunger. Think about creating a weekly plan, a way for you to get in different vegetables, different animal products to be able to move you through and maybe head off some of those cravings ahead of time so that you don't make poor decisions. Number 4 is our low blood sugar hunger. And again, that is meant to be seasonally, eating quality fruits and vegetables seasonally to get in the sugar in times of sugar burning and actually take times of break. It would have been rare in nature. So understanding that could be something driving you to eat is key. And then number 5 is emotional and trying to break us free from those marketing ploys that are out there telling us what to eat when we're in a certain emotional state and telling us how it's going to make us feel afterwards. Because I truly want to know how many of you after eating something like that truly feel better, or do you end up feeling worse and then depressed because you caved and you had it, right? So again, freeing ourselves from this diet mentality is huge. And then number 6 was our empty stomach hunger and understanding that it's okay to be empty and that we do not need to eat all the time just because our stomach is growling. So I also wanted to touch point on, I think I might have mentioned it, how our society, our matrix that we're living in, the marketing of the industries out there, food industries, is telling us that we need to eat all the time, and we don't. So I want to work on how we create that lifestyle. So to add to this end of this video, we're not about perfection. I'm not perfect. I still have non-functional foods. You'll hear me talking about functional and non-functional foods, but all I mean by that is things that our body has naturally evolved to process and produce and what we can grab nutrients from versus the industry foods and the things that we've grown up on that we're overfeeding ourselves on. Again, we're in a very malnourished state as a society, even though we have obesity and diabetes. You would think that we're fine, right? We're overeating. Yes, we're overeating, but we're undernourished because we're not getting in those foods. So that is part of my passion behind creating this awareness and helping you create where you are on that scale, because there is no all or nothing. That's a diet mentality. There is no right and wrong, because that's a diet mentality. Creating true food freedom is about understanding these 6 human hungers, becoming aware of these hungers, becoming conscious, and helping yourselves create a way of making decisions for you. You make the decisions, not the marketing, not the advertisements. So where on that scale do you want to live? How much nutritional food are you going to be feeding yourself? How much non-functional foods are you going to be feeding yourself? Right? Understanding where you want to be depending on your body, your ailments, what you're looking to solve, where you want to live, how much energy you want to have, right? Understanding that for yourself. That is truly what I do as a coach, is I help people create that awareness, create how and where on that scale they want to live, help them create ways of implementing these tools so they can live a proper lifestyle that fits in with themselves, true to themselves and where they want to be. I hope this was helpful for all you guys. I'm so blessed to be here. I'm sending you all many, many blessings. I love you guys so much, and I will see you on the next video. Take care and be safe.